A lot of guys are accused of not focusing. Their wives or their girlfriends will ask them something and they won't hear. They'll be like, huh? What? The problem isn't really a lack of focus. We're just intensely focused on one thing at a time. The problem with this for us as men is when we're trying to win, we often focus on the wrong thing. Let's find out what that looks like on today's video. Let's jump in. All right, a lot of guys get focused on what I call the weakness focus. You see, as men, we're quick to focus on our weaknesses. You see, it's like when you play football, you're looking at film. What are you looking for? You're looking for weaknesses in the other defense to exploit. And a lot of us as men, we do this in our own life. We obsess on the things that we're not good at. Why do we do that? What's the problem with that? Just because we're not good at something doesn't mean we have to focus on it and make it the only thing we think about. The reason is a lot of us as men is we want to get better or we want to overcome that weakness. Now that's not a bad thing, but we all need to reflect and honestly assess what's going on with our lives. We need to recognize the weak things, but that shouldn't be the thing we focus on. The problem is when you focus so much on your weakness, it magnifies it. You make it bigger than it really is. You see your weakness as something huge that you'll never overcome. And what happens is you ignore your strengths. And as a man, you're hurting yourself if you only focus on your weaknesses. Weaknesses don't help you win. So why should you make them the most important thing to you? Hey guys, what are some weaknesses you've obsessed on in your life? Has that focus helped you or hurt you? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your side. All right, the second area of focus is what I call the strength reality. Victories aren't won with our weaknesses, but with our strengths. You see, your strengths are the things you really want to focus on as a man. You want to build your strengths up. You see, strengths are what we use for long-term sustainable victory. It's not going to come in just overcoming weaknesses. It's going to be coming through your strengths. Like if you're trying to eat healthier, what you do is you find the healthy foods that you like first. Quit eating foods that you don't like and you say, well, I have to do it because it's healthy. No, find the food you do like. When I discovered that apples and almond butter go together, that's like a dessert for me. And it's much healthier than cake or anything. You see, they're healthy, so it's great, and it's like my dessert. And it's a great snack. So what I did was I found something I liked, and I didn't just focus on don't eat dessert, don't eat dessert. I found a dessert I liked. So instead of focusing on your weakness, focus on your strengths. Build your strengths up. Your greatest victories in life will be through your strengths, not by overcoming your weaknesses. Hey guys, every week the Confident Man podcast is there to help you grow as a man. It's a weekly coaching session I do every week. It's only about 30 minutes, but it empowers men to live their adventure. So I encourage you, check it out, the Confident Man podcast. It's on all the podcasting platforms. All right, guys, the third area of focus is becoming a self-aware man. In order to understand your strengths and your weaknesses, you've got to become more self-aware. You see, as men, we have to get better at what I call contemplation. That means just thinking about ourselves, about life, being open and honest in that way. And that's like having your own conversation within yourselves, kind of looking at yourself from the outside perspective. Where am I at? What's going on in my life? You see, this is the only way to really discover your strengths and weaknesses and where you are in them. Many of us as men are so driven that we never take the time to figure out why. I've seen guys who are driven to prove themselves. And what they are is they're basically seventh graders who are adults now still trying to prove that they should have been picked. They are better than others. And they don't realize it because they're too busy grinding. They're grinding and they don't really know why. They're not really looking within and figuring themselves out. When you as a man take time to contemplate, to ask yourself the big questions of life, you enjoy life more. You have a lot more meaning in your life. You find purpose, you find passion in your life, and you figure out, what am I good at? What am I not so good at? Why am I focusing so much on that? And what you can do is you can find those strengths to focus on. And when you do that, that's how you find long-term sustainable success. And you can also learn how to keep your weaknesses from taking you out. I want to challenge you to be a man who has depth. Contemplation is an important exercise as a man. I want you to start asking yourself some tough questions. And I encourage you, start journaling, start reading, start listening to things that challenge you as a man to think deeply. Don't just be a shallow man who only thinks about grinding all the time. Find tools that help you develop contemplation in your life, figuring out, what am I all about? Why am I here? As you do that, you'll be a deeper man and you'll live a much more meaningful life.